What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Support Going. Yesterday, I got a comment regarding, the support characters in the game. What are the best support characters, and what characters are they really going to be useful for? So that's what we're going to talk about today, guys. I'm going to talk about all the support characters, or at least most of them, excluding the collaboration characters, except for the current collaboration that we have going on right now, which is the Virtua 5 characters, which are available to be able to purchase. There are other support characters that were collaboration characters, but I'm not going to be mentioning them today. So we're going to start off with the purple characters. Now, the first one, guys, is obviously going to be Pai Chen. Pai Chen is going to be insane because, for the reasons that I've already explained already, right? But really specifically when it comes to Pai Chen, guys, it's really just buffing up, certain elemental characters, right? The yellow, red, and green, right? By 300%. This is just nuts on top of the increased target damage received by 100%, decreased defenses by 90%. She's just the best support, period, in the game for the red, yellow, and green fighters. So if you have this character and you're, you're trying to buff up a yellow, red, and green, she is the best for them, easily. She is the best, guys. She is just nuts. The next one would be Leona. Leona's a good character, but she really needs to be A5, so that way you can have her core unlocked and have this weaken. Weaken gives you increased target damage received by 30%. Now, Leona does have increased target damage received on her second skill, and it lasts for 7 seconds. And this is kind of the thing, right? Characters like Leona are going to get put down on the totem pole as far as supports because their buffs don't last very long, whereas a character like Pai Chen's buffs last for like 12 seconds. And that really, really helps the ease of play whenever you're playing with certain characters to do more damage. It doesn't mean characters like Leona aren't a good support. She is a good support, but she's going to be lower down on the totem pole because of the fact that she doesn't have as long lasting buffs and her buffs aren't as high as someone like Pai Chen. Another one, guys, is Kula, right? Kula at level 90, guys, is already a really good support character to use because she does have decreased defenses, right? She does have increased target damage received, which is very, very useful for doing damage, right? It's really, really nice. Decreased defenses by 70%. She's just a really good support to have on your team, which is nice. This 100% increased target damage received is really, really good. Really, really great character. Iori is pretty much like Leona, a really good support. But his buffs don't last all that long. I think like 8 seconds or so. And he does have the increased target damage received core, but he needs to be A5 to have that unlocked. But still a really good choice. Both Leona and Iori, as far as purple, are going to be lower on the totem pole as far as their support buffs, but they're still decent supports, right? They can buff up any character. Duo Lon is a character that he really needs to be A5, guys, in order to really get the most out of this character because he does have weekend, right? And it is increased target damage received by 35%, but it's just not as good as increased target damage received by 100%, like Kula, like Pai Chen. It's not even close, right? He does have some nice little buffs in his kit where, he can buff up all allies by 35%, which is good, right? And I believe he buffs up their other attacks also. Yeah, increased attack allies by 40%. So, he can get nice little buffs, and it is nice. It lasts for 12 seconds, but these buffs kind of pale in comparison to someone like Pai Chen. But still, you could use them. Even if you have them at level 90, you could get this increase of all attack by 40%. You could get the finisher skill. However, the finisher skill, the bad thing about it is, like, say you're in a game mode like the Alexandrite event or Kim Capon right now, the chances of using this are pretty slim. They're pretty slim. This does stack up to 3 guys, so this is a huge buff. It goes up to 110%, but using it in an event like that is really tough, and it honestly can be really, really awkward to use. Another one would be Cronin. Now, the bad thing about Cronin, guys, similar to Leona and Iori, is, well, he doesn't need to be A5. That's actually really good, and he will acquire increased target damage received by 90%. However, the caveat to the character is that he requires really careful gameplay where you have to tap the third skill once and then tap it and then hold it down to fully charge the skill the second time to get the max buffs out of this thing, right? You can get this 40% and 30% together, right? And then he has the core that gives him increased target damage received also up to 90%, which is why in Guild Raid he's so good, because if you use him as your last character before you buff another character, is tremendous. right? And increased target damage received by 90% is really, really nuts. But using him in something like the Alexandrite event or again, Camp Capone event, he's just not going to be really one of those characters that you can use. Now, Sarah is a really, really great support. Now, at A5, guys, she does have some, nice little skills. Not this one here, but penetrate here with the critical rate by 20%. Really, really great for the Virtua 5 fighter characters. And she does, decrease defenses by 90%, which is a very, very good buff. And she also increases purple and red element fire basic attack damage by 300%. This is basic attack damage. I wish this would show green. You know what I mean? Or like Shanae, Jackie, who we just recently talked about. That would be amazing. But it doesn't, right? It doesn't. But it does give purple and red element fighter attack by 100%. So she's a really and increased target damage by 7%. So she's a really, really great support for your red and purple fighters, right? She's a tremendous support, right? Pi and Sarah are really, when it comes to the purple, are really just the kingdom come of supports for characters, but they're only specifically for certain colors, right? And if I had to rank the purple, I mean, Pi would probably be number one, depending on the color, obviously. Then I'd probably go with Sarah, and again, depending on the color. Then I'd probably go with Kula, in all honesty, guys. And then after Kula, I would go with Duolon, and then Leona and Iori. So then we go to the blue. Now, let's take a look at the blue here. So Leona, guys, is actually a really good support. Leona offers increased target damage received in her kits, which is nice. You have increased target damage received by 50% for 12 seconds, which is really, really good. Decreased enemy defenses by 60%, which is also a really, really great buff. And increased target damage received by 55%. So she has over increased target damage received by 100%. And this is just at level 90, which makes her a very, very good support. Now, Rugal here he isn't a good support if he's below A5. If he's A5, he's a decent support. But if he's below A5, he just isn't worth a crap, guys. He just isn't very good because his buffs don't last very long. Akira, for the Virtua 5 fighter characters, Akira here is insane because of, the fact that, one, he's a free character. People are going to be able to take him in A5 and you get increased strike skill damage by 50%, right? Which is really, really nice. And Akira, for the Virtua 5 fighter characters, increases all attack by 50%, critical damage rates, plus the core. That gives him that, also gives the increased attack by 25%. I mean, he's just a really, really great support for the Virtua 5 fighter characters. If you're not using him for Virtua 5 fighter characters, he's not going to be as good of a support. He does have increased target damage received by 50%, but it's just not going to be as good. But the increased strike skill damage at A5, the increased target damage received by 50% is still pretty damn decent. Then you have Hotaru, which for females is a godly support, but a lot of players aren't going to have this character at A5. If they do, she's going to be much better because you have increased target damage received, I believe by 35%. I believe is what it is, if I remember correctly. I think it's about 35%. Yeah, it's about 35%. But her skills also give you nice little supports, which is really, really nice. The increased attack by 50% for females. So she's kind of like really mainly for the ladies is really kind of where it's at for her. The increased target damage received by 20%. She's still a good support, but really mainly for the ladies, right? That's kind of her thing, right? For the girls. And then you have Nakaruru, who actually can buff up other opponents with her increased target damage received by 60%. This can help, guys, even at level 90. She can be a useful character to buff up other characters. Really, the best character out of the blues for buffing up other characters is Leona. Now, Taki can do it too, but I mentioned earlier that because she's a collaboration character, I wasn't really going to talk about her. But she has increased target damage received built in her kit also. But Leona out of the blue, guys, is really the best character for supports, and then, but for the Virtua 5 fighter characters, it's going to be Akira, right? He's going to be the best support for them. For the ladies, Hotaru is still going to be a really good support. There's actually an argument between Hotaru and Leona. I mean, Leona having increased target received by 100% is massive, guys. That really is an insane support. And then Nakaruru at 60%. So I would probably rate him, probably Leona and Akira are kind of tied at top, depending on what kind of character you're using their buffs for. And then I would put Hotaru next, and then I would put Nakaruru afterwards. And then we go into the red. Now, red gets pretty interesting. Mina's a good support, but I really don't want to talk about her game because she's a collaboration character. It's kind of same with Bison. Chizuru does have increased attack to all allies, but it's not near as good as increased target damage received. It's not even close, guys. But Kyo here, actually, after Kyo's buffs, guys, they actually like made him way better because they gave him increased target damage received in his kit, right? Wherever it's at, right? Increased target damage received by 80%, which makes him a very, very good support character, even at level 90. Even at level 90. And Nakoruru here, or not Nakoruru, Lady Chen. I don't know why I said Nakoruru, Lady Chen. Lady Chen also deals increased target damage received by 60%, right? At A5, she's even better support, but this is just at level 90. Increased target damage received by 60% for 8 seconds is still pretty damn nice. And again, just like Kyo guys, Shermie here actually has increased target damage received by 80% in one of her, there it is right here on her second skill. So just like Kyo, guys, this is a really, really good support buff for your characters. And Mai here at level 90 is also a very, very good support character, kind of like Kula, because she decreased enemy defenses by 90%, right? She also increases enemy target damage received by 100%, which makes her pretty damn a nutty support, guys. Like, she's a really, really insane support character to have. And then, of course, you know, we can't forget about our collaboration character, which is Sarah, right? Sarah also is actually a really good support for characters that have strike skills. Increased strike skill damage by 150% is nuts. That is a huge buff that lasts for 12 seconds. So if you're buffing up a character that has strike skills, even at level 90, guys, Sarah here is really, really great, like tremendous for those characters. Just insane buffs. But if I had to rate the characters as far as supports, I would have to say that, you know, Maisie is probably number one, guys. She just has really, really ridiculous support buffs. And then after her, I would probably put Shermie and Kyo at a tie, and then Lady Chen afterwards, or Sarah. I mean, Sarah, if you're buffing up characters using strike skill damage, her ranking would go up as far as support characters are concerned. And then we get into the green characters. Now, Shanae, guys, is actually a pretty decent support character at level 90 because he can actually increase target damage received in his kit. I believe it's his first skill. Yeah, he increases shield damage received by 55%, which definitely helps in damage, guys. It helps quite a bit, right? It's not like a huge, huge buff, but it's still a really good buff. And then he also has the finisher with increased attack of all teammates by 60%. But again, in certain game modes, like I mentioned earlier, this isn't going to be very useful because it's really hard to do as 3 PGs, but he still could be a decent support with increased shield target damage received, which is really, really nice. Lung is going to be a really insane support, but really her support shines even more so when she's A5 because you can increase strike and blast skills. But even at level 90, guys, you can increase your target damage received by 100%. And on top of that, she also increases critical damage, which is massive, guys. Like, she can increase critical damage by, you know, another 15%. And her 3 PG also increases critical damage for everybody on the team, which makes her a pretty ridiculous support in all honesty, guys. And I believe she decreases damage, decreases defenses, I believe. Yeah, by 60%. So she's just a really insane support character to have. Haomaru here, I mean, he's got a decent support passive in his core because he can decrease defenses by 90% and increase target damage by 65%, but it only lasts for 6 seconds. And that's kind of the bummer thing about using a character like Haomaru. 6-second buff isn't very long. It's not very long at all. And then, of course, just like Sarah, guys, we can't forget another collaboration character that actually does have buffs in their kit, which is Jackie, right? Jackie does have increased target damage received by 100%, guys, and he has decreased defenses by 90%. So he's a really ridiculous support also that you can use on your team. But if I had to rate them, guys, I would say Long is number 1. I would say Jackie would be number 2. And then I would say Shanae is probably going to be in 3rd place. And then we start looking at the yellow characters, right? So when it comes to the yellow character, guys, actually Akira here is actually a really good support for kind of the same reasons that Sarah is. He decreases defenses by 90%, guys, which is really, really massive, and increases target strike skill damage received. This is actually more OP than Sarah, because when you increase target damage received, it actually will allow you to do way more damage than in just increasing the attack. Sarah's skill actually increases strike skill damage, whereas Akira's increases strike skill damage received. It actually is more OP. It's actually tremendous for characters with strike skills on top of the decreased defenses by 90%. He is a ridiculous support to use with characters that have strike skills, guys. Like massive, massive support for those characters, even at level 90. He's really, really great for them. And then, of course, Athena. Now, Athena, because of her leadership, guys, because of her second skill that, increases attack by 100% and the penetration by 500, this is a ridiculous support on top of her just having, chill and shock built in her kit for Nightmare Geese. She is still one of the best supports in the game. And if she ever gets buffed up, like what they've done with past characters like Kyo and Shermie, they might buff up her supports and make her an even better support than what she already is, which would be pretty damn awesome. And then we also have Kusanagi. Kusanagi is actually a very, very good support because he actually increased attack by 60%, right? Which is really, really nice. This lasts for 10 seconds. And he increases target damage received by 32%. Now, this only lasts for 6 seconds, but he also increases target damage received from his core. The thing about his core, guys, with the increased target damage received by 35% is that you have to tag out. So something to remember whenever you're playing with a character like Kusanagi is that whenever he's tagged in, when you tag him out, the next character is going to have that increased target damage received by 35% for 10 seconds. So a lot of people like to use this character as the last character before they buff up another character, but he's still a really, really good support. Now, obviously at A5, he's going to be an even better support. That goes without saying with really all these characters, guys. At A5, they're going to be better supports for the most part, but even at level 90, they're still going to be really, really insane. If I had to rate the yellow characters, in all honesty, guys, like Akira would be the best for characters with strike skill. Like he's going to be the best, even better than Athena when it comes to characters for strike skills. But if they're not using strike skills, if they're using grab and blast skills, then Athena is going to be number 1. She is going to be the best character for them. And then afterwards, I would go with Kusanagi being last, but still a really, really good support. So that's kind of the rundown of all the support characters in the game. There are other characters that were collaboration characters that can be used as supports, but again, I didn't want to mention them because they're just not available anymore in the game, except for the current collaboration characters that we have. So guys, let me know what you think about the rankings of the support characters that I mentioned, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GD+7 time. The link in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.